Hello there, dear YouTubers. My name is King1993, and today is another day of me trying to explain another Super Mecha Champion Mecha. And today's Mecha is called Hurricane. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Now, let's talk about the ability. This is the normal primary weapon. This is the normal secondary weapon. This is the normal jump. But if you were to double press on the space bar, then obviously you will be levitating in the air or hovering in the air. And this one is high speed charge. This is the tactical skill. Okay, so these are the overall four things about this mecha. Now, in order to understand what type of mecha this is a hit and run and continuous attack type of mecha. So yeah, this is actually true because most of the people who actually use this mecha would say that this is that type of mecha, hit and run and continuous attack pattern. So actually, let's go to the training ground to actually talk about that. Okay, so let's see. I do have Hurricane, okay, but here's the thing. Even though I do have Hurricane, I actually do not use Hurricane. Why? Because I find it a little bit difficult to control. Okay, but people who knows actually how to control it are actually very good at using this mecha. Okay, now here is the thing about this mecha is when it comes to the attack module, there is a primary weapon will increase the impact radius. Okay, another one is secondary weapon explosive area will increase by 30%. Okay, now the overall explosion area damage, whatever it is called, is already very high. Okay, for example, let me show you. When I were to shoot at this place, okay, it will automatically go. Okay, maybe because I selected core one. Okay, whatever this one. Okay, it still has homing capability, heat tracking. Okay, let's see. Okay, here is the thing. If I were to shoot here, it is still gonna do damage. Okay, because the impact radius of the secondary weapon is already very high. So there is no reason for you to actually make it even bigger. Rather, what you will be doing is to increase the primary weapon impact radius, because most of the time what will happen is if the enemy is nearby, you want to hit them, right? But when it comes to the pilot, hitting the pilot is a lot difficult than you actually think, especially when the pilots are in the air. So yeah, if you want to do tracking capability, or let's say if you want to do a large quantity of damage to the enemies which are basically pilot, then obviously having large impact area of the bullet is going to be more useful than having high radius of secondary weapon. Okay, so that is the main reason why I would select this. Now let's talk about the defense module. Now when it comes to the defense module, the clip capacity of this mecha is already very high. It is 150. Now you don't need any more than that. What you will be needing is the ability to gain 100 more shield every time you turn into the aircraft mode. By doing so, what will happen is you will be continuously gaining shield. And obviously, if you continuously try to gain shield, you will not be out of shield most of the time. So obviously, from that point of view, having more energy recovery is going to be more important than having aircraft clip gun. Okay, or aircraft gun clip, whatever it is called. Now let's talk about the propulsion module. Now there are two propulsion module here. Okay, one is increased fuel by 20%. Another one is a secondary weapon gain enemy tracking capability. Obviously, you need to select this one and not this. Then the question remains, okay, then where can you get this fuel from? Well, you can get fuel from a different source. I'll be talking about that, okay, eventually. So don't worry about that. What you need is the mecha tracking capability with the secondary weapon. Now, the last one is the core module. Now, when it comes to the core module, there are two. One is a missile cluster, another one is precise guidance. Now, missile cluster transforms secondary weapon into cluster missiles for significant damage increase. Now, I select this one. Why? Well, let me explain. First of all, let's talk about this precise guidance. Primary weapon gains assisted aiming versus enemy mecha in aircraft. Now, you already have secondary weapon which can turn into a tracking ability using the secondary weapon, okay, using this propulsion module. But you'd rather not have the same thing twice. Rather, what you will need to be having is to increase the overall damage output of your secondary weapon. So from that point of perspective, using this missile cluster is more important than using this precise guidance. See, it is doing about how much? Okay, let me check again. Okay, so it did about 900 damage. So the ability for this mecha to do about 900 damage is an indication that you should be using this following method so that you can able to destroy the enemy mecha in a matter of 3 secondary weapon shots. Okay, now let's talk about this mecha in long range attack. Now, when it comes to the long range attack, obviously the long range attack of this mecha is not very accurate. This is more of a mid range and a short range mecha. So even if the primary weapon does hit the enemy, it will not be doing large quantity of damage. But what about the secondary weapon? The secondary weapon can actually reach about 300 meters, but you need to be extremely precise, okay? And if the enemy moves away, the attack is gonna get missed, okay? But otherwise, the secondary weapon is a very good weapon to give a warning to the enemy, which are 300 meters away, that if you are within the range of this mecha's secondary weapon, you are gonna get destroyed very easily. Okay, so from that point of perspective, you can use as a warning shot towards the enemy using the secondary weapon. Now, when it comes to the mid range, okay, in the mid range, these mecha, obviously you must need to change into this pilot, and then you will be able in this aircraft mode, and then you will be able to do a lot more damage. Okay, why is that? I think I forgot. Maybe the which one? Oh yeah, I forgot. You don't need to change into aircraft. Okay, you don't need to. You need to change into aircraft only when you use this precise guidance. Otherwise, it's not needed. Anyway, so when you are attacking the enemy mecha in the mid range, obviously the primary attack as well as the secondary attack, both of them are gonna be extremely accurate. So there is no need to be worried. Okay. Now, when it comes to the short range, obviously in the short range, you have to use a little bit different tactics. Now, I am not actually good at using these tactics. Okay, and what is the tactics? You have to change into aircraft and then use this primary as secondary weapon, and then obviously you have to shoot at the enemy again. But what I'm trying to say is I have seen some people use following tactics. Okay, what are the following tactics you can use? Change into this pilot form and then use the tactical skill to move from one place to another. Okay, let me try again. Okay, I see now. So basically the thing I did is I used the tactical skill and then use the space bar to actually stop the overall continuation of the tactical skill. Okay, let me try again. So you use this and then someone is shooting at you. You change the formation a little bit and then shoot them at them again. And then again continue. By doing so, what will happen is you will be crossing from one place to another in the air in such a way that the enemy will actually have a hard time to get a proper location of how to actually hit you back. Okay, so that is the thing about this mecha. It is something called air acrobatic. Now, another air acrobatic that I saw was which allows them to go even further distance by maintaining a high amount of fuel. Okay, now how they did that, I do not know actually. What they basically do is they use the tactical skill and then pause, use tactical skill again and then pause. Okay, but I am actually not the very best to actually give that type of demonstration, so I'm not going to talk about that any further. Okay, now let's talk about the mecha's ability to use sneak attack. Now when it comes to the sneak attack of this mecha, this Mecha sneak attack is actually the strongest. So you have to be careful if you are facing against a hurricane, because if you are facing against a hurricane, then what will happen is its secondary attack will be destroying your Mecha very fast, and its primary attack will be able to destroy the pilots very fast. Okay, because bullets in this game somehow manage to kill the pilots a lot faster than the missiles or whatever it is. Okay, so when it comes to sneak attack 1, you can basically use the secondary weapon to do that, but obviously one side is gonna hit, another side is not gonna hit. Okay, what about the primary weapon? In the primary weapon, all of these shots are actually getting hit. Again, same problem. When it comes to the secondary attack, half of your missiles is gonna get hit and the rest of the half won't. Now, the sneak attack 2 is basically like you jump up in the air and use the secondary attack and then go down. By doing so, what will happen is you will be surprising the enemy, doing massive quantity of damage, about 1000 points, and then again go down. What will happen is they will basically get angry, because what type of mecha is this doing 1000 damage and now is hiding? Actually, I don't use this mecha, but what happens is most of the time this is the problem that I have to face. Now, obviously, this is sneak attack 2. In the sneak attack 2, you basically use the secondary attack, but here's the thing: if there are other mechas nearby, it is gonna be a little bit problematic, because I wanted to actually aim at that Arthur over there, but I was automatically getting aimed at something else. So what can you do in these cases? In these cases, the best option you can do is to aim at some other place and then slowly move upward. Okay, so again, okay, I guess I was a little bit too far from the target. Yeah, you have to be careful, because it seems like when it comes to other mechas there is no problem, but when it comes to this mecha, it seems like the secondary weapon actually get most of its attack block. What about the primary weapon? When it comes to the primary weapon is doing continuous damage. Yeah, so this is basically sneak attack 3, I guess. In sneak attack 3, which is basically above a certain platform, don't use the secondary weapon, because the secondary weapon is gonna get blocked. Use the primary weapon, and even if the enemy mechas were to hit you back, you can actually hide. Okay, so yeah, that's the thing about the sneak attacks. Now the question remains: can this mecha survive in battle in water? Yes, this mecha can survive in the battle in water, because as you can see here, this mecha can easily stay up in the sky very easily, see, above water level, and it can stay highest. Okay, and then is able to shoot the enemies very well. So even if you are underwater and suddenly a pilot shows up with a skateboard or a hoverboard, or let's say unicorn, you can basically get up in the sky up to a certain amount, and you can shoot them back. Use the primary weapon. Obviously, if the enemy is in a pilot form, then use the primary weapon. If the enemy is in a what should I call it, mecha form, use the secondary weapon. Okay, so that is basically how it works. This mecha is actually very good against both mecha and the pilot. Okay, now other than that, the question remains, okay, what about its ability to run away from the battlefield? Now its ability to run away from the battlefield is actually very good. Okay, let me give you an example. So this is the place. Okay, now let's see. Okay, so 130 meters. So it has distance. Its ability to go a certain distance is even higher than what should I call it? Is even higher than Gabriel. So Gabriel can go up to 100 meters in any places, and this mecha can go to even higher places than that. So the question remains is, okay, is there any other way you can use this mecha in a way that it can basically benefit your teammate if you are using this mecha in a battle royale team match. Yes, there is. You can basically go up to a certain point up in the sky, okay, to monitor the enemy movement. By doing so, what will happen is you will be able to see where the enemy is, and you will be able to guide your teammates and tell them where they should be going, so that they can use a surprise attack on the enemy. See? So yeah, that is basically it for this mecha in the training ground. So to give a little bit better description of how to use this mecha, let's go to the lobby to talk about the mods and the mecha pilot skill. Okay. Now let's talk about the mods. Now I do have this mecha, and the mods that I have given is the following. Okay, let me actually rearrange it. Okay. So obviously when it comes to this mecha's ability to use uh as high amount of, what should I call it, damage output as possible, what you will be doing is to using short range. Okay, short range. And the question remains is, why use a short range damage? Because as you probably saw, this mecha is not the very best when it comes to long range damage, and this mecha doesn't even need reload rate because the clip capacity is extremely high. Okay, so from that point of perspective, giving it more reload rate is not going to be efficient. What you will be doing is to giving this mecha short range damage. Okay, there should be another short range damage. Okay, and there should be another short range damage. Okay, so I have given this mecha 3 short range damage, which basically increases the short range damage by 5.4%. Okay, now this is going to be increased up to 27.4, because if you were to give a Norma's ability, obviously this is going to increase by a lot. Okay, so that is one of the thing. Another thing about when it comes to the defense module or mods, defense mods, that is the one which I would recommend is not the tactical skill, because the tactical skill of this mecha recovers automatically. You just need to use the tactical skill, and what you need to give this mecha is fuel. Okay, the more fuel it has, the more it will be able to use its tactical skill. So ROM's ability is not gonna work here. Okay, what you will be needing is max fuel. You will be needing okay, more, okay, improve fuel, supercharged capacitor, and concurrent power supply. By giving this mecha this item, what will happen is this mecha will be able to stay in the air for a longer period of time. Okay, so max fuel is 4%, and fuel recovery is 3.6%. Now you can use this max fuel, and it will basically increase up to 14% if you were to give Joanna's ability. Okay, so yeah, that is basically how this mecha works. Now let's talk about this mecha's pilot skill. Now, Ning ability is good one, but not the best, because just having durability is not good enough. You must need give a mecha to ability to survive. Okay, now this is the first time when I'm gonna say that ROM's ability doesn't work on uh, Hurricane. Okay, so giving ROM's ability to Hurricane will not work. If you want Hurricane to stay in the air for a longer period of time, or to use tactical skill as much as possible to run away from the battlefield, then obviously this is a very good option. Because why? Because as you probably saw that the more fuel Hurricane has, the more it can run away from the battlefield. Okay, so from that point of perspective, if you were to give more fuel to Hurricane, then what will happen is Hurricane will be able to do a tactical skill run away from the battlefield up to 200 meters. So from that point of perspective, this is actually the best one. Okay, this is a good one. This one won't work. This is the best one. Now this is also a best one if you want durability, 10% durability to turn into shield durability. This one is best if you want normal durability to recover. This is not very good. This one doesn't work on Hurricane. This one uh, is not very good because it has 3 negative points. 3 seconds movement speed, has a cooldown of 7 seconds, and would only work when hitting with the secondary weapon. So obviously 3 recommended options that is needed in order to use only 10% of movement speed. Okay, so that is problematic, which is why this is not the best. This is the same as Ning capability is not very good. This one is very good if you use Hurricane, because here's the thing. The problem with Hurricane is Hurricane can be shot down very easily. So in order to make sure that you have more shield, obviously giving quick shield recharge is a very good option. Not very good, best option for Hurricane. Okay. This one is not gonna work on Hurricane because Hurricane's overall long range damage is actually very inaccurate. So this one will not work. You do not need reload rate for Hurricane because Hurricane already has high amount of clip capacity. So this one doesn't work very well. Okay. Now this one is good. Okay. This one is bad. Let's just say bad. This one is good, not the best good, because 15% of recovery if you use a recovery item. But if you do not have the recovery item, this will not work. This one is good but not the best. Why? Because it will only work at the end part of the battle royale where the enemies are close. When the enemies are nearby. Now this is the best option for Hurricane, because even if you do not hit the enemy with the secondary weapon, your primary weapon will become a monster power up to 50 50 okay, 5.4%. Okay, 5.4% from short range damage. Okay, let me talk about the mod, then you will be able to understand what I'm saying. So as I've already shown you this here, that short range damage is increased by 5.4%. Okay, how does this work? When the enemies are within 50 meters. So yeah, if the enemies are nearby, what will happen is Norma's ability is gonna turn into overall total 27.4% of primary weapon damage output for 7 seconds, which has a cooldown of 9 seconds. Okay, this is a good option but not the best, because as I've already shown you, Normus is the best one and this one is following after that. So from that point of perspective, this one is going to be useful only when Hurricane is up in the air by 20 meters, and if just hovering above the ground by 8 meters, then the overall damage output is going to be 5.2. This one is only gonna work on the secondary weapon of Hurricane, because the primary weapon is a continuous shot. Obviously, this is not gonna work on the primary weapon. It will only work on the secondary weapon. So with all of these conclusions, with all of these examples, the overall conclusion is which one is the best for Hurricane. For Hurricane, the best one is Yuri for durability recovery, Phyta for shield durability recovery, Norma for maximum damage output, Johannes for maximum ability to stay in the air, as well as using the tactical skill. Like, this is the only time when Hurricane can actually use both the tactical skill and stay in the air for a longer period of time if you were to give Johannes ability with the mods which I have already shown you. Okay, A1 is good, the best. Okay, best when you use Ivan in the, what should I call it? If you use Ivan, Mecha skill, not 10% of normal durability will change into shield durability. And yeah, that is basically it. Okay, so which one is the best one? Yuri 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These 5 are actually the best one for Hurricane. So if you were to get anything other for Hurricane, obviously it is not going to work very efficiently. Okay. So overall, If you like this video, then please give a like and subscribe and click the bell notification icons to actually get more of this type of topic on a regular basis. Thank you and see you again next time.